Peace, family. Hi, coming to you today. And the reason why I do these videos or whatever is because I watch the news and I try to stay in contact with what's going on in the world, my community, in my environment or whatever. And when I talk with some people, they some people just don't really see what's going on. And so I say this here, especially for younger people, because the fact is, most change in this world, especially with civil rights or any kind of rights for people, has been done by young people. So hopefully, younger people may get a better picture, at least. I don't know everything, but I try to give them whatever I can see, or anyone that's interested, right? So, anyway, lately, as you know by now, Trump has caused war with Iran. It doesn't surprise me because this is another act of desperation. This is another act of an unfit person in the seat of the president of the United States. One of the most powerful countries on the planet. And what I see, it's like I did a video the other day where I was talking about the ending is really a beginning of something better. But in the midst of that ending and beginning is a threshold. And in the midst of a threshold, there's always all kind of volatility going on. And right now, what we are seeing, is a type of ending to something that has been going on since gunpowder. All right. Whereas, when Europeans got a hold of gunpowder, the Chinese used it for celebrations and different things. However, they turned it into, they had an idea, let's put a little pellet on the tip of a missile type cylinder and see what happens. And it became a weapon. And from there, what we have today is all kind of terrorism, right? And I was looking at the news, and that word terrorism, I heard one of the Republicans talking about it's not verbatim, but it's kind of like, the king of what is it, dark terror has now been killed. Talking about the guy over in Iran, the Ayatollah Khomeini. But listen, first let me say, I don't condone any kind of war or anything that has to do with killing of anyone, or especially innocent people. You know what I mean? And from what I could see, this bombing of, Iran was totally unprovoked. Trump went in there some months ago, I think it was June, talking about they had annihilated all of their Iranians' processing of nuclear weapons, okay? And they missed. But the problem is this here. The problem is the fact that no other country on this planet has ever bombed another country with nuclear weapons except the pale-faced leaders of the United States. And I say that specifically because we are all we're Americans. If you've been born in America or went through the proper process of becoming an American, we're all Americans, right? But we're not the ones that be pulling these little or pushing the buttons for nuclear weapons and bombs and stuff like that there. And that's always been in history, right? This is not about race, but it is something that is a fact that needs to be said, So right now, this is another desperate move to stop one country from developing a nuclear weapon. Again, I wish none of us had them. We should be unarming them instead of creating them. However, the leaders of America as well as Israel, which are some other European descent people, that call themselves Jews, they feel as though no one should have the nuclear weapons except Europeans, Americans, and people that look like them, okay? And the fact of the matter is none of us should have them. You know, why would we want to annihilate other countries or whatever, all because of different ideas? You know, but the one thing that gets in touch with, I get in touch with at least, and it's kind of like when you have discernment, it don't take a whole lot of figuring out of things. Discernment lets you zero in on what's really going on, minus all the other distraction and the bullshit that be mixed up in there, right? So, for one thing, what I looked at is Trump has sent billions, you know, tens of billions of dollars over to Israel. He's been doing that for a while. Him and Netanyahu are homeboys. Netanyahu is hated by his people over there, a lot of them, but they keep him in place because he's a warmonger. He's ready to go to war, and he's fighting to give them land that was taken from Palestinians, okay? I don't want to get too far into that there. We could talk about that another time. But with all the hell that's going on in America right now today, from Trump and his administration and his minions, and mixed in with the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and all of these here racists, you understand? This is just another ploy, another strategy for white supremacy on the planet as well as in this country, okay? Now, again, my point of view is not about so much about racism. It's about fear, insecurity, lies, deceit, and just a miseducation for the younger white people that think that they are all Americans and everybody else. You know, when you hear them chanting inside of, you know, different venues, you know, USA, US, or when you see them talking about Americans, they really are talking about European America. I don't call them white America because they're not white. There's not a such thing as a white person, okay? But European Americans here in America that's been running this country for the last since George Washington and before, as well as those in Europe, as well as those in Israel, okay? This is a global, what we are seeing is a change that is coming, that is putting an end to it. It is volatile and it's scary and it's confusing to a whole lot of people. However, this is what happens when change comes, right? And we have to stand strong and have faith that it's going to work out for the best for all people, not just Europeans and European Americans and European Israelites or whatever, you know, performing as the true Hebrew Israelites of Africa, where it all came from. But them billions that I was talking about, what that leads to, for me at least, you know, is that Trump is really planning ahead for when he gets out of office. He's going to have to go somewhere. He's not going to stay in America. If he is able to end his presidency alive, he will be looking for someplace to go. And it will be, I believe, between Israel, and it's going to be it's going to be with the Arabs, the young Arab leader over there, the king. And the reason why I say this here is because in America, him and his family life will be very uncomfortable. Another reason why I say that he's looking for the great escape with this unplanned war that he's going on, which is a distraction to keep us from figuring out and seeing what he's really doing. Another reason is because his family, his son-in-law, he's a Jew, right? And nothing against Jews at all, right? But I'm just saying his homeland is in his family, I should say, comes from the people of Israel, right? The ones that took over Palestine. So his son-in-law has already been wheeling and dealing with billions. I'm talking about not no 10, 20, 30, 40 billions and stuff like that, throughout the time Trump has been in office. And a lot of that money is going over into Israel also. So what I believe is they're looking for a resting place and a home for their family so that when all of this is all done, they have a place to go, because America will be a dangerous place for Trump and his family. And, this is just my perception or perspective on this right here. I'll keep a watch. You keep a watch and have a critical mind and understand that all of this craziness going on, it's unnecessary. He had no reason to bomb them people. Keep your head up. Peace.